Good evening. It is said that wisdom lies not in seeing things, but seeing through things. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayanan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines. Bahrain joined International Institute for Management Development World Competitiveness Yearbook 2022 for first time, ranked in top 10 globally in 56 indicators. His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister met with cabinet members. US President to visit Saudi Arabia from July 15 to 16. King Fahd Causeway updated travel procedures of Saudis. Kuwait City ranked as Arab's most heat-prone capital. Sri Lanka gave public workers extra day off to grow food. News in detail. Bahrain joined International Institute for Management Development World Competitiveness Yearbook 2022 for first time, ranked in top 10 globally in 56 indicators. Bahrain made its debut in the World Competitiveness Yearbook 2022 issued by the International Institute for Management Development World Competitiveness Center. Bahrain's inclusion in the yearbook is a testament to the kingdom's commitment to foster a competitive environment necessary for prosperous lives and a thriving business environment. The World Competitiveness Yearbook comprises 4 factors: economic performance, government efficiency, business efficiency, and infrastructure, which in turn include 20 sub-factors that cover 333 indicators on competitiveness. The country's ranking rely on hard data as well as an executive opinion survey that was disseminated to mid-top level managements in the private sector. The kingdom was ranked among the top 10 countries globally in 56 indicators in different areas, including skills of the labor force, gender equality, and safety and social harmony. The results indicated that Bahrain has a competitively skilled labor force. As such, Bahrain ranked 4th in having competent senior managers, 5th in skilled labor, 7th in finance skills, 7th in qualified engineers, 7th in international experience, and 8th in foreign highly skilled personnel. Bahrain's social cohesion has ranked 8th globally, reflecting a harmonized society for both Bahrainis and residents. The kingdom came in first globally in the homicide indicator, reflecting the lowest rates of intentional homicide. The kingdom has also achieved high rankings in indicators related to gender equality, reflecting the significant role women play in the workforce. The kingdom ranked 3rd globally in the share of women in management positions and share of women with degrees. His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister met with cabinet members. His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, today met with the cabinet members at Gudaibiya Palace. His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad expressed his gratitude to the cabinet members who have the honor of serving the kingdom. His Royal Highness noted that each member of the cabinet has made an outstanding contribution to the kingdom's comprehensive development process led by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister stressed that the cabinet members' contribution to the kingdom's achievements is highly valued and that efforts will continue to further Bahrain's progress and development for the benefit of its citizens. Speaker highlighted boosting cooperation with the US Congress. Speaker Fawzia bint Abdullah Zainal had held a meeting with Congressman Joe Wilson, senior member of the House Armed Services Committee. The Speaker affirmed the importance of taking the common interest to strengthen cooperation between the Bahraini Parliament and the US Congress to benefit both countries and their people. She reviewed the growing outputs related to economic reforms and the attractive environment Bahrain provides to investors. Zainal stressed the availability of opportunities for trade, economic and industrial cooperation between Bahrain and the US, given the recent launch of the United States Trade Zone in Bahrain, in addition to working to increase returns from the Free Trade Agreement, promoting trade exchange. NIHR delegation visits informed about services delivered to domestic violence victims. The Detention and Facilities Visitation Committee at the National Institution for Human Rights today paid a visit to the Dar al Aman for women subjected to domestic violence. The visit is based on the NIHR's mandate in the field of protection and promotion of human rights and the jurisdiction granted to it under the provisions of its establishment law, in order to assess the general conditions of residents and their remarks. The visit aimed to verify the extent to which affiliates enjoy their rights guaranteed under national legislation and international human rights standards. During the visit, the NIHR's delegation was informed about Dar al Aman facilities and was briefed about its role in securing temporary shelter for families subjected to domestic violence. The delegation commended the efforts exerted by the officials of Dar al Aman to provide the necessary protection for the victims. In addition to the delivery of various living, social, health, recreational, psychological and legal services to them, the NIHR can be contacted through the toll-free hotline 800-1144, the NIHR Bahrain mobile application or the website www.nihr.org.bh. Parliament Affairs Minister highlights fruitful executive legislature cooperation during 5th legislative term. Parliament Affairs Minister Ghanim bin Fadl Al Buyainen has stated that cooperation between the executive and legislative branches during the 5th legislative term has contributed to attaining major legislative achievements. This was contributed to achieving the goals of the Comprehensive Development March led by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and supported by His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, he said. With regard to legislative affairs, Al Buyainen indicated that the legislative branch had approved 47 decree laws, 70 bills submitted by the government and 18 bills submitted by the legislature, in addition to 85 proposed laws referred to the government, noting that they have covered numerous vital sectors. Concerning the oversight field, Al Buyainen reported that 773 questions had been submitted, 8 investigation committees had been formed, 6 public debates had been held, and 533 proposals had been submitted to the government. Regarding the government's response to the proposal submitted by the Council of Representatives, the minister said that the government had responded to as many as 427 proposals out of the 533 referred to it by the Representatives Council during the 5th legislative term, adding that responding to the remaining ones is underway in accordance with the established constitutional deadline. Newly appointed High Civil and Sharia Court judges sworn in. The Supreme Judicial Council held a legal oath ceremony in accordance with Article 26 of the Judicial Authority Law for a group of new judges. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa had issued Order 16 of 2022, appointing them as judges at the High Civil and Sharia Court. SGC Vice Chairman, Court of Cassation President Abdullah bin Hassan Al Buyainen stressed His Majesty the King's keenness on the rule of law and the consolidation of justice as the most important pillar in Bahrain's security, social and economic stability. He underlined the Council's strategy, which aims to build a judicial system characterized by effectiveness, efficiency of procedures, quality of judicial rulings, and the development and continuous rehabilitation of Bahraini competencies. Her Royal Highness Princess Sabika praises Bahraini women's success. Her Royal Highness Princess Sabika bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa, wife of His Majesty the King and President of the Supreme Council for Women, today sent cables of congratulations to Health Minister Dr. Jalila bint Al Sayyid Jawad Hassan, Housing and Urban Planning Minister Amna bint Ahmad Al Rumaihi, Sustainable Development Minister Noor bint Ali Al Kulaif, and Tourism Minister Fatima bint Jafar Al Sayrafi, following the issuance of a royal decree on reshuffling the cabinet. Her Royal Highness Princess Sabika extended deepest congratulations to the new female ministers, expressing pride in the great support enjoyed by Bahraini women as a result of the political leadership's belief in their distinguished ability to hold top decision-making positions. Her Royal Highness Princess Sabika wished the new ministers success in carrying out the tasks entrusted to them within the government under the leadership of His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, in order to contribute to developing the kingdom and serving the citizens and residents. E-Commerce Champions Overseas Program launched. The Ministry of Industry and Commerce launched the E-Commerce Champions Overseas Program under the patronage of the Minister Zayed bin Rashid Al Zayani. The Ministry launched the program with Export Bahrain, Bahrain Institute of Banking and Finance, and Tamkeen, with the participation of Annida Brand, Traditional Trends, True Active, Ariel Hand Jewelers, and EatCo. The program includes specialized mentoring sessions to share company's expertise in e-commerce and export, where the company shares its experience in the field of exports through e-commerce, solutions supplied to raise the standards of the products and services, and how to overcome challenges. The ministry said in a statement, companies that qualify from the program will be selected and awarded the title of e-commerce champions overseas based on the work program that will be provided at the end of the program to transform into commerce and then export overseas. Industry Ministry and World Intellectual Property Organization signed agreement. The Ministry of Industry and Commerce signed a cooperation agreement with the World Intellectual Property Organization on the development of intellectual property office business services. The agreement provides developed services and programs to support intellectual property protection in Bahrain. It emphasizes the importance of training workers in intellectual property, transferring knowledge and exchange of experiences and data needed to develop the intellectual property system, and strengthening the Global Competitiveness Index, and developing services related to the protection of intellectual property rights in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Sar Interchange 1 lane to be closed. Works Ministry said that the maintenance works of expansion joints of Sar Interchange necessitate the closure of one lane on stages on the loop leading from Sheikh Isa bin Salman Highway to Sheikh Khalifa bin Salman Highway for southbound traffic going to Hamad Town. The closure will be effective from Thursday 11 p.m. to Sunday 5 a.m. Civil Defense campaign to spread awareness about fire safety. With temperatures in Bahrain soaring, increasing the risk of fires, the Civil Defense has been carrying out a campaign to spread awareness about fire safety. The drive included visiting buildings and inspecting workshops across the kingdom's 4 governorates to educate tenants and workers about the health and safety standards, said a statement yesterday. Plans for high-rise commercial buildings in Manama rejected. Plans to allow unprecedented massive urbanization in the heart of the capital governorate have been vetoed. The Capital Trustees Board rejected proposed moves by the Urban Planning and Development Authority to allow high-rise commercial buildings in Manama and surrounding areas that include Hura, Gudebia, Neem and Ras Ruman. Today's COVID updates. COVID updates brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. Al Hilal Medical Center, Salmabad, organized a medical camp in Shakura Youth Center. The camp comprised free blood checkups and distribution of free mini comprehensive coupons and free doctor consultation coupons. The Indian Club Prince and Princess Contest 2022 will be held on Thursday 16th June at 7:30 p.m. 140 contestants will be displaying their talents on the walkway in 3 age categories: sub-junior 4 years to 7 years, juniors 8 years to 10 years, seniors 11 years to 14 years. The main judgment criteria for this contest will be catwalk, costume, smile, hairdo, introduction and overall presentation. The allotted time for self-introduction is 1 minute for the junior category and 1.5 minutes for senior category. Prizes and gift vouchers will be given to the winners along with the crown. And also on overall group performances, 5 best categories will be selected: best catwalk, best smile, best costume, best introduction and best hairdo. For further details of the event, please contact the Entertainment Secretary, Mr. Senthil Kumar, on 333-40494 or the choreographer, Mrs. Hansel Ghani, on 333-81762. The Indian Club Executive Committee announced the Indian Club Summer Camp 2022. The Summer Camp 2022 will run from 4th July to 18th August with a daily program between 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Sunday through Thursday. Age limit 5 years to 14 years. There will be a full range of exciting fun and educational activities for the kids, together with a number of field trips, a sports evening and a grand finale that will link in with the club's Independence Day celebrations. The Summer Camp 2022 fee for members' children will be BD 55 and non-members' children will be BD 66. Summer Camp registration forms can be collected from the club's reception. Last date for registration 30th June 2022. For more details, please contact the club's General Secretary, Mr. Satish Govindnathan, on 34330835 or Entertainment Secretary, Mr. Senthil Kumar, on 333-40494. Now we will be back after a very short break.
All your favorite products under one roof in Bahrain at 27-year-old Megamart and Macromart. Bakery, fresh meat and fish, fruits and vegetables, sweets and snacks, ready-to-eat foods, dairy products, grocery or consumer goods. Megamart and Macromart, full of goodness.
Welcome back. US President to visit Saudi Arabia from July 15 to 16. Joe Biden will make his first trip as US President to Saudi Arabia from July 15 to 16 at the invitation of King Salman bin Abdulaziz, the kingdom's royal court has announced. The president is scheduled to King Salman and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Biden's trip to the Middle East from July 13 to 16 will also include stops in Israel and the West Bank, the White House announced. The president's visit will reinforce Washington's ironclad commitment to Israel's security and prosperity and attend a GCC summit, according to White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. The GCC summit will also include Egypt, Iraq and Jordan. While in the region, the US president will meet with more than a dozen regional leaders to advance US security, economic and diplomatic interests. His first stop will be in Israel before visiting the West Bank to meet Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Following his stops in Israel and the West Bank, the president will take a rare direct flight from Israel to Jeddah. King Fahd Causeway updates travel procedures of Saudis. The King Fahd Causeway Authority has announced that it has updated the traveling procedures for Saudi citizens who are wishing to travel to Bahrain from Saudi Arabia through the Causeway. The King Fahd Causeway Authority clarified that if adults want to travel to Bahrain by crossing the Causeway, they must complete receiving 3 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. The duration of the requirement to take the booster dose for adults has been modified to 18 months instead of 3 months after receiving the second dose. As for the travel conditions for the age group less than 16 years old, the KFC has said that they must complete receiving 2 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine, while the travel age group for those under 12 years old is required to issue an insurance policy against coronavirus, noting that the age must be calculated by the Hijri date. The King Fahd Causeway Authority indicated that the insurance company is the currently approved entity according to the Health Insurance Council. Kuwait City ranked as Arab's most heat-prone capital. Kuwait City ranked as the Arab world's most prone capital to heat, with an average temperature of 45 degrees Celsius during summer and a maximum of 51 degrees. It is followed by Baghdad 44 and 50, Riyadh 43 and 49, Abu Dhabi 42 and 47 and Doha 41 and 47, according to a recent analytical report by the CSR Gulf. Switzerland reopened airspace after technical malfunction. Switzerland reopened its airspace Wednesday after a brief closure for safety reasons because of an unspecified technical malfunction, authorities said. Skyguide, the air navigation service, initially said the closure would be in effect until further notice after the malfunction early in the morning, Associated Press reported. A few hours later, it said the airspace closure was lifted at 8:30 a.m. and air traffic over Switzerland was resuming along with operations at the country's 2 national airports in Geneva and Zurich. Yellowstone flooding forced 10,000 to leave National Park. More than 10,000 visitors were ordered out of Yellowstone as unprecedented flooding tore through the northern half of the nation's oldest national park, washing out bridges and roads and sweeping an employee bunkhouse miles downstream, officials said Tuesday. Remarkably, no one was reported injured or killed, the Associated Press reported. The only visitors left in the massive park straddling 3 states were a dozen campers still making their way out of the backcountry. Yellowstone National Park, which celebrates its 150th anniversary this year, could remain closed as long as a week, and northern entrances may not reopen this summer, Superintendent Cam Shirley said. Sri Lanka gave public workers extra day off to grow food. Sri Lanka has approved a 4-day work week for public sector workers to help them cope with a chronic fuel shortage and to encourage them to grow food, the government said on Tuesday as it struggles with its worst financial crisis in decades. The island nation, which employs about 1 million people in its public sector, has been hit by a severe foreign exchange shortage, which has left it struggling to pay for critical imports of fuel, food and medicine, Reuters reported. Many of the country's 22 million people have to queue up at petrol stations for hours and have been enduring long power cuts for months. Sri Lanka's cabinet late on Monday approved a proposal for public sector workers to be given leave every Friday for the next 3 months, partly because the fuel shortage made commuting difficult and also to encourage them to farm. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I am Vinod Narayanan signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.